Hi everyone, this is Caly. Welcome back for another STAMPtember exclusive premiere. I've got the Mama Elephant set here. This set is called Merry Greeters and it is just adorable and true to Mama Elephant style. Let's take a quick look at the stamp set before we get started on our card here. We have some signage, Christmas and holiday critters and friends. Super cute. Alright, so I went ahead and stamped my images off camera. I stamped it a few days ahead of time just to make sure that the black ink is nice and dry, and it also gave me a good visual on what I was working with and how to plan ahead of time what I wanted to do with the layout. So I'm coloring with Copic markers now, and on this tree, it's the only one where I start backwards and color with the lightest marker first, and then go in with the darker colors. That's because I really wanted those tree flickings and pine needles to be a little bit more stark instead of a blended look. I wanted it to be more of a striped look. So that's what I did for the tree, but for everything else, I go in with the darkest color and then blend out with a medium and a light if it requires more than two colors. And it's a lot of coloring and their images are a little bit small, so I'm gonna do my best to group colorings together. So I'm doing all of the reds right now, as you can see, and then I'll do all the browns and all the blacks together. When there are a lot of critters and images like this, I try to keep the same colors because I don't want to use 100 different Copic markers. So all of my reds are the same and all of my greens are the same. I try to keep the colors cohesive too. So that will keep your colors cohesive on your card. And so now I'm working on the greens for this little elf here. He is so cute. And the colors on the green on the elf are the same as the colors on the trees. So if you're interested in the color combinations that I use, be sure to check out my coordinating blog post for this video. Everything will be linked for your convenience there, as well as down below for the main products. Okay, so I'm moving on to the deer, and we're using some light browns. I usually go with a little darker brown than this, but I decided to keep it light on this particular image. And then I'm coloring the horns a little bit darker. Now on the signage, I'm using a light brown. I'm just using one marker, and I'm not coloring the entire sign. I am just flicking on the sides to give it a woodsy green look, and then we're done. Now onto the messages for these signs. I saved it for last because I really wanted that black ink to be stark and crisp. So I saved it for last, and here we are with all of them stamped out. I stamped them all at once in my MISTI, and now we're going to fussy cut all the images. This is not a fun part to watch, so I will skip ahead. But then we have this 6 window cover die, and I thought it was perfect for this stamp set because there are 6 large images that I'm going to be using. So I die cut that in white, and now we have this window frame. Now to make the background, I have a card base here. You can see that it's a top folding note card. And then I'll use a pencil to draw little tick marks for the bottom of each of these windows so that I can know where I can stop or start my ink blending to create a nice window background for this card. I'm using some post-it tape to mask off the areas. So I'm masking off the top of my card now where that scored line is, and then I'm going to use some salvage patina to ink blend each of these tiers so that I can have some color at the top of each of my windows. So I'm not ink blending all the way down. Remember, I drew those little tick lines so I know where the window stops, and then I'll use that as a guide to mask off a second section. And then I'll ink blend that just the same way as I did the top. And when I'm done with those 2 layers, I'll remove my mask and do the final layer at the bottom. So behind each of our 6 windows, we have a gradient of color for the background, and that just gives it a little bit of interest. You can also color these different colors and make it super colorful and fun. I'm just going to keep it simple. STAMPtember is a busy month for all of us who are bringing you content, so I just am trying to do my best to bring you new content, but keep it simple, but also provide you other ideas as well while I'm going. All right, so my ink blending is done. I'm going to score my top folding note card, and then I'll attach this window with some foam adhesive. I put thin strips of foam adhesive all the way around the window and at the center to keep it nice and sturdy. And now I'm going to attach my images with foam adhesive as well so that they can stand on top of the window, flush with the window. So after I've attached all of my main images with these foam adhesive strips, I'm going to go and attach the smaller accessory images with some liquid glue all around to make it a little bit more interesting and fun. You can leave these off as well. And if you want to, you can do a sentiment strip. There are not other sentiments aside from these little signage sentiments, so I went ahead and left it as is. And that finishes my card, and I forgot to record while I was adding it, but I did go in and add a few little white gel highlights all over to make it a bit more interesting, and you'll see that in the photos in the next few slides. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I will try my best to bring you new content as soon as I can. Bye, everyone.